back to JDA Football. We have got a special guest for you today. We're starting a new series with the interviews of football vloggers, all different people in the world. And today we've got no other than Rhys Parsons. You all right?
Yeah, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate.
We'll just ask you a couple of questions about Oldham and some topics. Right. So, Alex, do you want to start off with the first question?
For me. One second. Do you think Oldham have handled the situation currently with coronavirus and all that quite well?
I think we've been the only club really to handle it in the wrong way. Where yesterday, I'm not sure if you've seen the news, but we came out and basically said to the players, look, you're going to take this wage cut or basically we're going to make you redundant. And I think the way it's come across to the players, it's the right idea. Don't get me wrong. It's going to help save the club. But I think the way we've handled it has just been absolutely dreadful. And the fact that other teams in the league, in League Two, are giving their players like a bit more money so they can stay afloat and the staff, and we're not doing that. It just seems like we're trying to self-gain instead of putting people's lives first.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
That's to save the players. That's to save the club from going bankrupt, isn't it?
Yeah.
But do you think it's the way that they've said that to the players, like the way they've forced it upon the players, instead of saying like, "Here's the situation. You can either take it or you can find another club."
Yeah, definitely. I think the way it's come across is totally not professional at all, and it could have been handled a lot different way. And the players are fuming. They've put in a revolt on against the owner, and you can totally understand it. I mean, they've got families and like people earning above $2,500, which is most of our players. I'd imagine there's only a few that aren't on above $2,500 a month. They'll only be getting next to nothing. So especially of like families as well, it's not livable.
Yeah.
Joe, you got a question?
Yeah. So, being from like the lower league, how do you think that's got like a different dynamic between the players and the fans? Like, because it's more personal it's like more on a personal level, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's like away days, like so we'll go to Plymouth, and when you're in traffic 8 hours away, you might be only a couple hundred of you. So like the players always come over. That's what I like about Oldham. The players and lower leagues as well. The players always come over, shake your hands, like nice to see you. How are you doing? Like it's not like the Premier League where they're on the bus, they come off and they just don't pay attention to you. So I mean, that's what I like about the lower leagues, because I know a lot of the players on like a level like that. So mates sometimes go on Xbox with them or whatever. They're all like sound lads, and I think that's what really is good about lower league. The fans interacting with the players and vice versa.
Yeah, because we went to a Altrincham game and all the players came over and started chatting with us, and that was really nice to see. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's good to see the bond, and I think it brings the club together as well. The fact that everyone's in it for each other, and they know that we pay our hard money to watch them play, and just to even have a conversation, it can make people's days, if never like from a young kid all the way up to an adult.
Yeah.
My question is, Paul Scholes, what do you think went wrong at the club with him? Because there was mentions about the board, I think.
Yeah.
You're back.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things, and I could go on about this for hours, but obviously one of the main reasons was the owner gave a player a new contract without Scholes' permission before he even joined. So he wasn't happy with that, and there was rumours of interference. Obviously the facilities weren't great at the time or whatever, but we need to remember that Scholes was going to get sacked anyway for his gambling scandal, and his son was going into prison. So I think it was kind of an easy way out to shift the blame after 31 days. But it was defo two sides of it, where Scholes was going to get sacked anyway, but I think it just made it look a little bit better on his CV that he left.
Yeah. Alex?
You might have heard the news lately surrounding all this with women's football. Like, there might not even be a sport women's football in a few weeks. And obviously with Neville might having to step down in a few weeks because there's just nothing going on. What's your opinion on all this happening lately? With
obviously it's not great at all. I think there's a a club in Wales called Rhyl. I might have butchered the pronunciation. That's gone bust. Obviously, sports as well, leagues going. I'm pretty sure that non-league and the 3 steps below it won't be back until January. So it's devastating because we'll see a pattern of a lot of clubs going under now and a lot of leagues in both male and female sports. So obviously it's not great to see, but sometimes we do have to put people's health in front of things, and it is a shame to see football clubs go under, but at this time, people's health has got to come first.
Yeah.
So you said about clubs going bust. Do you think that would happen to Oldham?
We don't know. Honestly, we wouldn't have a clue because, like I said, a few months ago, we were going in liquidation, administration, whatever it was. And then a week later, we've just paid $6 million for a stadium, to own our own stadium. And then a few weeks later, we can't even pay our players on furlough. So we don't know if there's money in, if he doesn't want to spend his money, if he can spend his money, if it's his money. We don't know because we don't have that transparency which the clubs like Accrington and Peterborough do. So yeah. I honestly couldn't give you an answer.
And if there was the danger of you going bust, do you think like fans would be willing to chip in and all like stick together to keep the club afloat?
Yeah, for sure. We've got the Oldham Trust, and I think they're doing something like that at the moment where fans put whatever they can in a month just in case it does look like we're going bust. So we have got that administration coming up after this whole virus has gone. So there's always a possibility. There's always a few clubs like us, Macclesfield, Bolton. Obviously, it's a shame to see Bury go as well. I think Southend's one of them that could have gone at one point, and Bristol Rovers, who were in like £20 million debt, I believe. So it's not great to see clubs go, but I think we are on the verge. Like it could happen. I'm not saying it won't ever happen because I'd probably say there's more chance of it happening than there isn't happening. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your main rival? Because you're 10 miles away from Manchester. And
yeah.
Rochdale and Bolton are around, so.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going back for the majority of Oldham fans, I'd say probably the bigger audience of Oldham fans who are probably an older age, you'd say like United, City, Huddersfield, Wigan, Bolton. Who else would there be? That's probably about it. Just like I think Huddersfield's probably the main one for a lot of fans. But obviously with the new generation of fans who I'd say probably 20 years and under who haven't seen us in the Championship or the Premier League, it'd obviously be Rochdale or Bury. So teams like that are just local. But in recent times, I've got to say rivalry probably has been Rochdale, Bury, Bolton because we played them the most. But if you ask the majority of Oldham fans, they'll probably say United, Huddersfield, Wigan, Bolton, and teams like that.
Yeah. If you could go to one of those stadiums, which one would you go to out of all?
The rivalries?
Yeah, the rivalries.
I did mention Leeds United, but I think that would be the one I'd go for.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't like any of the clubs, especially Man United, but I'd probably go to them because my cousin plays for them, Brandon Williams, so it'd be nice to go and watch him again.
Is he your cousin?
Yeah.
He's very good at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's just broke into the first team this season. Obviously, it's a shame that the season's ended, or voided at the moment, or whatever it's going to happen, because he's been doing really well this season. It's good to see him playing basically week in, week out. And to say
he must be good.
Yeah, he's put Luke Shaw in centre half, so he took his position basically. I went watching him in the Carabao Cup when they beat City 1-0, was it? At the Etihad?
Yeah, 1-0.
Yeah, and he played excellent then. So yeah.
Alex?
I was just wondering, does it kind of get frustrating in a higher league? I know that some clubs such as Millwall, I've heard them say they don't really want to go into the Premier League because it's like a different atmosphere and all that. But do you have the same feeling?
Yeah, I mean, if I had the choice to go and see Oldham in the Premier League or the Championship, I'd definitely say Championship. It's a much better league. I think the Premier League, you've only got a few clubs that are going to get success out of that league because obviously the money is absolutely unreal. Whereas in the Championship and your League Ones, there's not that much competition in it like that money-wise. I mean, in League One, you've got like Peterborough. You haven't got many clubs that are like absolutely ridiculed with money. So there's always a chance that someone can win that league. Like when Accrington won League Two or when Luton went up. So you can always see a small club doing well, and anyone can beat anyone in the Championship, League One, and League Two. So I'd much rather see us in the Championship than the Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah. When Villa were in the Championship, it was like every single game was a struggle. Whereas at in the Premiership, it's like obviously the higher teams, you're just gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
Being from like a lower league, and like the lower clubs don't seem to have a chance. Whereas in the Championship and the League One, it's like always balanced. What do you think the Premier League could do to like improve that?
I'm not really sure now because the money's you can't stop the amount of money coming in. So I don't think there's really anything they can do to make it a more even league. I mean, put more of the lower teams on to TV, they'll get more money, but it's supply and demand, really. People want to see your Cities and your Liverpools and your Uniteds and your Chelseas, etc. So I don't think there's much they can do anymore without losing followers, because for them, it's all about business, it's all about money. So I think the league's kind of took a back step and money's kind of took first place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not really a game anymore. It's just a job.
Yeah.
It's like a life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've heard, but they're thinking of splitting the league.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Championship into North and South divisions. What do you think about that?
I mean, it benefit the club massively, obviously, with your travel and your accommodation, etc. Obviously, this season, say if it was in Oldham, for example, you've got to go down to like Crawley, Plymouth, Exeter, all in one season, like Colchester.
Yeah.
And this next season, if not all of them stay and Southend come down, that's another one to the list. So it definitely does cost a lot of money, but I'd hate to see it. I mean, only playing half amount as games, because you wouldn't play each other 4 times or whatever number it is, like they do in Scotland.
Yeah.
I just don't think it'd be great for the fans, really, because I'm not sure about you, but I love going to the further away games, I think. And down south or whatever league you get put into, there's definitely more competition when you have it out just into what it is at the moment. So I think it'd be a lot better if they kept it how it is. Yeah.
So would you say your best bit of an away day is going for like a longer distance because you get to spend more time with?
It really depends. With Oldham, I've never seen us, and a lot of fans haven't seen us have success. We're the least successful team in the top 92 football clubs, so we don't really win that often. We have had a few away wins this season, but the closer games are the better ones because we take loads of fans there. Like I remember a few years ago, we went to Rochdale on a Tuesday night, and there was probably more Oldham fans in the home end than Rochdale because we sold out our allocation. So we always have a great following away from home, and that's why I think the more away games are better for me, really. Yeah. I think they're just more enjoyable than home games, and especially the close ones like this season, Salford, Bradford, where we took like over 1,000, nearly 2,000 fans and sold out. It's just great to go to, yeah.
Yeah. Just the last round of questions, Alex.
Yeah, we've obviously had big news this week with Newcastle getting massive takeover, 260.
Oh, bloody hell, we fell there. We're back on. That one. Yeah, carry on.
I know that Newcastle have a giant fan base and they have great, but do you think all this money coming in maybe even ruin their club, like with the atmosphere?
If they go out and do a Man City what they did years ago, over time it'll definitely turn into that. The atmosphere will die off because there'll be a lot more fans going just to see the players and not actually supporting the club. It'll be more like a tourist club. So it'd be nice to see them, keep the Newcastle, the hardcore, passionate fans in, because they're a great fan base, like you said. And I think one of the main objectives for them when they do come in, or if they do come in, is to try and keep that fan base and, try and build that up. And that'd be really the main priority before the start of next season.
So would you say the FA is doing enough to support the lower leagues during this time?
I mean, they've given early payments and whatever, but the FA don't really do much that doesn't self-benefit themselves. I mean, with clubs on our doorstep like Bury, obviously they went Bolton, Macclesfield. I mean, they just don't do enough to help the clubs struggling at all. They could have easily said to the Premier League, look, you're earning what? This amount of much a year, 10%, that's not going to work. help your lower league clubs out. I mean, I'm not saying Man City should go and give 50 million to Oldham and say, go and buy your next biggest player. But it's the little things, like, even if it's just helping them out on maybe the training ground, their old training ground that Bury used to use. I mean, they did that for free, and City are a good example of that. They've always helped stuff like that. I think they paid for our floodlights or something like that many, many years ago. So they've always been like that, but I think the FA could do a lot more to help the teams that are struggling.
Yeah, like sponsorship or something, finding deals.
Yeah. If finding deals or even just little things like when the Premier League chief executive went, I'm pretty sure he got like, was it 25 million off each club or something ridiculous like that as a parting gift, whereas that money could have saved Bury like 2 times over. So they could have done a lot more to help save Bury and help other clubs.
Yeah.
I wish both Manchester clubs should have like put money towards saving Bury, because even though it's like a local club, really, isn't it? Like,
yeah, local club, and over not recently, but going back, the United and City have had a lot of players off Oldham and Bury. I mean, with Oldham, you obviously had like your Micah Richards, and Dennis Irwin went from Oldham to United, and he's like one of the biggest legends United have nowadays. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's always good to help them out, even if it's just a friendly in pre-season, maybe like Oldham's ground, and give United half the ground. It helps because United are obviously going to sell out, and that money goes towards helping our club. It's nothing for United to go and play a game at Oldham, but it really helps Oldham as a club, and it helps pay that next bill. Helps push it across the line to not go into admin or liquidation.
Yeah. Just the last question. Where do you see Oldham in 10 years' time?
It's a tough one. Under the circumstances we're in now, I'd probably either say in League One or in between League One and National League. We've got to have some success at one point. We can't go on for another 10 years and make it nearly 40 or just over 40 years without any success or anything to celebrate about, which is either a promotion, playoff final win, or winning the league. So, I mean, it's only going to go one way. I said it to my mate, next season we'll either win the league and go up, or we'll get relegated to the National League. I can't see it being another in-between season. So we'll just see how it plays out. But in the next 10 years, like I said, probably in between League One and National League, one of them leagues.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Rhys.
Yeah, cheers for having me.
We'll put Rhys's channel in the description. Go check him out. His vlogs are very good.
Cheers.
And yeah, that's bye from me.
Yeah, see ya. It's been great talking to you, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Nice one. Thank you very much.